Hi everyone, welcome back to True Alchemy. So today's reading is a very different one, something that I've never done before. This was very guided. So today's reading is going to be all about how is spirit working with you and your person in your connection. This will be a very detailed and insightful reading about the kind of inner work that both of you are doing due to this spiritual connection being in your life. How is it impacting the way you view them? How is it impacting the way they view you? This connection, how is it making the both of you feel about each other? We're going to see a comparison, a differentiation, and we're going to find out the connecting energies as well. So for today's reading, we have three piles from the left to right. The first pile is a Labradorite. The second pile is Amethyst and Titanium. And the third pile is Clear Quartz. Pause if you need a little longer. Pick the one which calls your name the most. You could be drawn to one or two piles. So take your time, and I'm going to start with pile number one. Hello, pile number one. If you chose the Labradorite, this is going to be your reading along with the card of emotional freedom. So this is a card which tells me about the main theme of your reading, which is a lot about spirit encouraging mutual support, freedom, care, and understanding. Almost like maybe where both of you were making decisions without thinking about the long haul, more like planning and planning for the long run, planning for things that almost like a life purpose. Something about this connection is bringing about a lot of mixed feelings about how life has been and what do you want to make of it now. That's what I'm feeling. This is a very spiritually transformative connection. It's a strong soulmate connection. um, and I can say that it is karmic, not because there's something wrong with it or it's not a soulmate connection, simply because you guys have a very strong, outstanding is the word I'm hearing, outstanding contract with each other, to fulfill a very strong divine purpose in each other's life. And there's this growing feeling of believing spirit that is being brought through this connection. The Emperor, the Nine of Wands, because the both of you have been resilient in the Judgment. This is a very um, strong catalyst. You both serve as catalyst in each other's lives. Page of Pentacles, almost like building the foundation of what is to be moving forward in life. With emotional freedom, no more judgments precisely made of um, how we feel in the moment, more about protecting our heart and acting truly as the sole creator and decision maker of your own life. That's what I'm really hearing over here. So I, do have few pre-shuffled cards about how both people are feeling in this connection. I'm simply going to place it as first person and second person. You may resonate with both energies, or one of them might be pretty accurate for you. If you resonate with both energies, it just means it's quite mutual. That is the first word that I said, right? And I'm hearing the words heartfelt, like it's very much in both of your hearts that you guys really want to be together. That's what I'm hearing. Um, but it's just not easy. That's also what I'm hearing over here. So these are the connecting energies. I feel guided to read the connecting energies first. So we have ginseng and Saint John's wort radiance. Two, this is a sun card. This is sun over here, and this is ginseng magician. So this is representing the magician. This is Uranus and Jupiter. So this one is specifically in reverse, which gives me the energy of, I feel like the sun in reverse could talk about feelings of depression, because sun is the happiest card, and then we do reverse it, it is like we're very sad about things. I also feel like this could be the energy of, that is because you're going through major spiritual transformation, and any organism, any creature, excuse me. Oh, I have so much resistance in speaking in this file. It's very, like, I'm 100% sure that the hesitation I feel is not because I don't understand the energy. The hesitation is what is taking place in the physical realm. Maybe there's a lot less to prove about the progress of this connection in the physical realm with the Labradorite. This is like some serious healing that takes place, right? This is painful. So even though this is a very beautiful connection between the both of you, I hear from spirit that the way that they're working with you, um, I'm hearing cataclysmic. I'm also hearing Persephone. This is about your own magical abilities. This is about, with the magician, this is all about your untapped potential. This is about your own spiritual gifts. And this is, I'm hearing that this is the initiation. This connection was brought into your lives to bring the initiation of something very, very big. This could be bringing about gifts in the both of you, or enhancing your gifts or your intuition, your own intuitive abilities to trust what is being said to you, what you guys are being guided to do. In this sense, that's what I'm picking up over here. But oh my god, I really need to ground this energy. This is a lot up in the air because there's nothing that is physically proven over here. So um and believe you me, I feel so much resistance in saying what I know, is particularly because of the opposition that you guys are probably facing on a spiritual level. That's what I was saying, that any organism, any creature, my god, cre- creation of God, that goes through a process of elevation, evolution, change, transformation, has to endure the challenges that come across in the opposite end, from the opposite end, from the spiritual phenomena of life. So they're reminding me of how it is said that God has created everything on this, in this universe, right? So there is a higher power that has created everything, and I feel like this connection is also instilling the bigger questions in life. Like, it's bringing about a more philosophical take about life, and questioning your life purpose, questioning why am I here, what am I here to do. It's bringing about these big questions, not the smaller ones, like, oh, what am I going to have for dinner, or oh, I really like this person, what am I going to message them back. This is bringing in, like, I really like this person, do they fit into my values, will they fit into my family, do they fit into my 10-year 20-year plan, do they fit into my retirement plan, do they fit into, like, these are bringing about big questions, like the ones that come up in the long haul. That's what I'm picking up over here. And this is almost the energy of I pick up that maybe there is pin drop silence in this connection. You guys are not really talking or communicating about any goddamn thing, and that may be very, very frustration for the second person. We're gonna see who the second person is, but intuitively pick up on the fact that the second person is rather more frustrated about this not moving forward because the first person is still in a cocoon caterpillar mode. There's strong metamorphosis over here in this pile, and it's giving that the second person is rather more psychic, already into their more feminine energy rather than the first person. So this could be that um now I'm just being presumptuous because you watch tarot, and usually, well, this is just presumptuous. I don't really have a base on it. I am just thinking that you might be the second person that is on my right hand side, and the left one could represent your person. Either ways, the energies that I'm picking up is somewhere you will feel like you resonate with their energy as well, where you can just interchange and give yourself the benefit of the doubt, and your person that maybe they also resonate with a little bit of what you're going through or how you're feeling. All right. So I feel like there is a good amount of spiritual warfare that's going on, and there's a little bit of psychic connection over here where both of you are feeling. I feel, especially if the second person is psychic over here, they may be picking up on thoughts and feelings of how the first person is feeling. The first person gives me a relatively dimmer light. They are very much stuck in their root chakra, and the second person is operating more out of their heart chakra right now. So, this person may be missing the first person more because the first person is still battling with their childhood wounds. Okay, so that was the strongest channeling that I received for this pile. And now I am just going to open up. We're gonna start off with the first person. Okay, so we have the card of transformation. Okay, I feel guided to take this energy as something that is unveiling itself. And then we have discover life purpose. That's what we're talking about. Transformation. Number 13 is a death card, and the fifth number 5 wisdom is the hierophant, which is the unfolding energy right now. That's what I feel. So it's very, very interesting. Should we open this up as well? Okay, so they're telling me yes. So I should be taking this in reverse. This is also in reverse. Okay, so for the second person, we have the energies of discontentment and boredom in reverse. We have memories of love, 6 of cups in reverse, 4 of cups in reverse, and the patience card in reverse. Very interesting. So let's start off with the second person over here, the one that seemingly is more psychic and feels more connected. This person, the second person over here, how spirit is working with them. It's particularly, and how they're feeling. Um, I think that the second person is reevaluating the way that they view life. Spirit is working with the second person over here. Um, in fairly reevaluating their own way and method of approaching people. If you know you resonate with the second person, and if you're the second person over here, this is like this person feels very stuck in their approach. Maybe it's almost like this person is waiting for the first person to be somewhat done with an accumulative part of their journey, where they come to the conclusion that they feel that the spirit, like, you know, the universe is like giving them a green light, because this person, being psychic, recognizes that the first person needs relatively more time right now because they sense that they are going to get rejected. The first person is getting some insight going within, because there's a well over here. This woman is sitting in a bridal, I was about to say uniform, like she's wearing a bridal outfit. That's what I feel over here. And she's sitting with something, and I almost felt like she's just looking at her nails, like almost that pose that we make when we're just looking like, okay, we're sitting pretty and we're trying to fulfill our own cup. So spirit over here with the first person, the second person, is trying to teach them how to just be okay with uh knowing that they deserve love and they deserve to be pursued in a sense, because I feel like this person might be in more in a feminine energy and they could be possibly a woman. And I think that with memories of love, this is the energy of Six of Cups in reverse, being like this person having to reevaluate their past wounds. Spirit's main theme with the second person is that they're having to fill their own cup. With the well over here, it's almost like she's looking outside where she needs to be looking inside. The metaphor that I'm getting is that you need to replenish your own well, and that comes from groundwork. That's what I'm hearing, groundwork, like in inner work. And this person with the discontentment and boredom, this the Four of Cups reevaluation, it's almost like healing a rejection wound. That's what I'm strongly picking up for the second person. Spirit, can we clarify what are they patiently waiting on? What is Spirit teaching this person? The Five of Cups in reverse. You, if that is you, because I just said you. Six of Wands and the Hierophant. Oh, we have Hierophant for both people. This Taurus energy and that is Scorpio, right? So I see that over here that the second person is being taught how to be patient and work on their own healing, because I think that this person has a habit. It's a predominating, it's like it's something that I'm hearing, dominating. It's almost like it just comes in hand, like whenever this person finds someone that they really really like, or they um kind of automatically put on a pedestal, and it's because of the way that they view themselves, and they're almost like their go-to mode, their autopilot is to go and look for distractions from their own pain. This person is not always unhappy with their life, but I see that this person tends to really, really fall back in their patterns whenever they do find love, because a romantic illusion, a romantic obsession serves like a high, like a dopamine high for this person in their day to day life, because this person struggles with making themselves happy. Like, I think that if I would ask the second person, like, when was the last time you were really, really happy? This person would kind of like really have to think about it, because this person is not very, very, um, they just live with this melancholy of life where this person is kind of like, maybe they were sitting on their side on the sidelines in their own life. Maybe they were looking for someone to come and save them from their own pain. This does not ever, like, this does not amount to the fact that they've never done any work on themselves and they're not progressing anywhere in their life. I just feel like at this point in their life, they're kind of like a stalemate in their own life. This person feels very like unamused by their own day-to-day life, and I feel like person the first person came as like a mirage is what I'm hearing. um the first person was themselves taken aback by this connection. I feel like this person was overwhelmed by what they were feeling, and it started an awakening in this person. It just brought something in them that was triggered by these deep, deep, deep wounds of abandonment, where this person was led to question why do they move the way that they do in life. So I think that it's not at all something that I can compare in terms of pain, but I would say in terms of intensity, person one felt a lot more emotions, or ranges of emotions than person two, because person two went more deep inside what they were already feeling, or surface level, or I wouldn't even say surface level, because I kind of feel like it's not like doing justice to the work that they have been doing. I feel like person two over here is in the feminine energy, and they're a little bit far ahead than this person in terms of figuring themselves out. That's why I feel like I can't compare it. But one thing that I do distinctively feel is that person one is someone that felt ranges of emotions. Like, they felt anger, they felt love, they felt pain, they felt sadness, they felt a lot of emotions, whereas person two, kind of like I'm hearing, like, was a stalemate, right? They had to go deeper inside what was already bothering them, and they were kind of like bored of doing the same shadow work. It's like this person one came in and sparked things up for person two. Whereas it is similar for person one, but for person one, this was more like, wow, like I'm getting this energy of person one being absolutely, I think that infatuation would be an underestimation, but in relative terms, it would be that they were very mesmerized by person two. And it really started an awakening in this person. That's what I'm hearing. The initiation took place over here. So more of a rapid growth and peeling of layers was happening and is still happening with the person one, is what I am feeling. And the discover your life's purpose really gives me this energy that this person really started questioning, like, okay, well, like, who am I? That's what I'm really picking up. Who am I and what am I here for? That's the main questions that I see person one really asking themselves and their own guides. Somewhere I feel like if you have a social media platform and if you are person two, this person has been stalking you, like your person one has been stalking person two, trying to gain information about what is happening to them because they see person two as their mentor. Like, you may or may not believe this, the card Lovers just dropped out over here with Gemini. I'm telling you, person one was absolutely flabbergasted, absolutely mesmerized. Something about, person two's hair is also what I am picking up over here. But I think that the first, like, I'm getting enticement. The first enticing, of course, trait person two had that called kind of like lured them in is their attractiveness. And I think that person one is not someone that is mediocre within themselves. I think they are also a catch and they think of themselves like that. But this series of event, what played out over here, like almost like was a breaking ground. Like there's a lot of, I keep hearing the word groundwork. Like you have to do a lot of groundwork. You have to start from the base level. It's almost like when you're building, you're into construction and you're building a building, or I'm hearing a house. So you're kind of like putting things into calculation and making a blueprint, and you're the architect of your own life. So this person has gone to the level zero, or perhaps even underground, where they're kind of like trying to be a little bit more unorthodox about things. Like for them, unorthodox would be maybe in the sense like, or unconventional, but I'm getting the word unorthodox. It's almost like the way that they've been doing things is something that they want to change up. So maybe if they thought that I am a man and I am just supposed to provide money and do all sorts of things like that, and I can, it's like strong conditioning where I'm hearing if this person that, like, that's not something I'm saying that they probably do, but that's just something they picked up, that if I am the man, I am allowed free passes towards infidelity or something like that. So I feel like this person is recognizing that they would be really hard if the other person that they're with would do that. And these kinds of things that they maybe use as leverage against other people or maybe the opposite gender are the things that make them the most fearful about trusting the opposite gender. So these could be a lot of things, that there's a lot of thought patterns when it comes to love, connection, and outdated beliefs that don't really support um your emotional bandwidth and your need to trust another person. With the Four of Pentacles, this is insecurity. This is like, I can't trust you, the Hermit. These are deep insecurities that have been coming up to shed light. And we have the card emotional freedom, where it's like, how they say that the things that you control are the things that end up controlling you. That's what I'm really feeling over here. I feel like it's like you have to restart in this connection. I just honestly feel like you can't really be negligent of how the other person feels. Emotional freedom over here is almost about what spirit is working with both of you, is about taking care of each other's needs, not being selfish, because in the long haul, it won't even reach the long haul if you don't know how to take care of it. I'm hearing almost like, if you take care of things, they last. Hmm. So I am going to clear this out, and I'm gonna see how the both of you are feeling towards each other, and we're just gonna see how this is making the both of you feel. All right, so I think I'm gonna start off with the second person. We're gonna see how is this phase. um I'm hearing momentarily making you feel, because I personally feel a very strong indication that you may be the second person over here. I could be wrong. So let's see. How is the second person feeling here? Three of Swords in reverse. Emperor. Okay. We have Nine of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, the Emperor, and the Three of Swords. Bottom of the deck, the King of Wands, and the Six of Pentacles. Wow, this makes me really happy, honestly. And we have the archetype student, humility, devotion to knowledge, openness to lifelong learning. There's a very strong perfectionist tendency that is coming out of the second person, and I feel like this is very mutually shared over here, wanting things to be perfect. This is also a connecting energy that I'm feeling from this card. Saint John's wort, radiance. This was in reverse, the sun in reverse. Major cause of both of them feeling quite defensive towards each other, feeling inadequate as well by the end of the day because of what you're going through, is because of perfectionist tendencies. And one of the things that mainly Spirit is also working with the second person. I'm going to see for the first person when the cards make themselves known to me, but I feel like the first person is battling with perfectionist tendencies, or also like this habitual mode of chasing the other person. So I'm seeing that the second person with the King of Wands, the second person, okay, the messages are coming in, so I'm just gonna say that the second person is giving up this need to be always the first person to lead the connection, to run the show, dysregulated and more emotionally charged. Now I feel like this person is coming in to more of their healing energies. This is such a beautiful energy, because if you're someone, or you're the second person who has struggled with being mostly in their masculine energy, doesn't know how to receive love, effort, and care and consideration, the second person is learning. And maybe I said the first person because the first person is picking up on this energetic charge that the second person is not going to give more, or is not going to do any more. So it's bringing about this energy, like I know, like the second person is damn worried about this, like am I going to lose them? They're losing a little bit of sleep, but I see like every day, because of their internal work and how Spirit is bringing them about to know that they are the prize over here. Yes, pile, yeah, like yes, in this pile both people may be really good on their own separate ends, have their own plus and minuses, but over here I see that Spirit is working with the second person to realize their own worth, and this is a beautiful energy because this is sitting, letting them sit and claim their own throne with the emperor energy. It's like a king like energy, and if you're a woman, it's like, if they're a woman, this is like the queen like energy. But with the Queen of Pentacles, this is like a motherly energy. This is like, I am nurturing myself because I am also hurting. So right now this process is teaching the second person to be like, okay, you know what, first of all, me, I'm gonna put myself first. And I think that this delegation of effort and responsibility in taking charge of what is important for them is bringing about not only just this a little bit of casual space for the first person to also go through their own painful journey, but also to feel a little bit like, okay, now I have the space to lead on this. So it's almost like the burden of pressure is being distributed, it's being balanced out. Does that make sense? And so that's what I'm really picking up over here. The Nine of Swords for the first person as well. The Six of Pentacles. Do you see this? Ace of Cups in reverse. Wow, we have counterparts. The King of Pentacles. Beautiful. And we have Ace of Wands along with the Two of Swords reversed. Wow, so this really gives me a lot of reassurance about what is probably going to come ahead and how Spirit is working with. Oh, first person, they got the transformation of base motives and goals into golden wisdom. They got the Alchemist card, which is also a shadow of misuse of power, knowledge that comes through spiritual practice. So the first person going through this process, makes me feel like is more deep into their wounds, and they are learning or stepping into their spiritual form, and this person is relatively realizing that they don't really have what it takes to give the second person right now. So this doesn't mean at all where, I feel like if you think and you are the second person, if you think that your person doesn't know that you deserve a lot more and you're waiting on them and you want them to approach you, this person is aware of it. And I feel like this is a little bit of universal message that whoever you are, your person is aware of the fact that, they want to come in. They want to come in, but they also sense like this block where they feel like the time is not right now. And how they're feeling is that they need to not only just work on their money. I feel like money is a very strong thing over here for the first person, but this is more about their own beliefs. This could be that they're dealing with financial trauma. This is that they're transmuting a lot of self-doubt when it comes to love and taking care of a family or being the emperor as well, because the first person, the way they view the second one is almost like they're more powerful than them. They probably know that the second person has been through quite a heck a lot previously or with them or an accumulation, but this is the energy of someone that recognizes what it takes to be in a strong partnership with someone. They are extremely attracted to the second person, but they don't want to do wrong. So I think that why they're holding themselves back is that there's a very big recognition that yes, I do really love them, but well, I don't really have much to pour into them. Why we have the sun upright, so and the sun just came in. So it's almost like illumination. A lot of what Spirit is working with is the first person being very honest with them, and this is very important. You may or may not like this if you're the second person, but the first person is actually doing right by you. The first person is doing what would be right for this connection. So your impatience or you feeling like it's not divine timing is solely your own or the second person's own burden of not being able to be available for themselves. The first person is also teaching the second person something about truly how to be there for themselves, right? So to conclude this reading, pile number one, this is very, very fascinating. Um, and nevertheless, very, very insightful. I'm going to use a deck to pull out some channel messages from both parties over here. So let's see. So we have it from the first person. They're saying that I feel terrible for hurting you. This is from the second person is what I'm picking up. I feel like I ruined everything. So maybe, the second person is kind of like, I feel like whoever these two people are, they feel like they're not gonna probably collide together, because there's this energy of feeling like they didn't do enough. But what I feel is coming from spirit is that what you're doing for yourselves is more than good enough for what you're doing for each other or this connection. And the connecting energy over here is one-sided relationship. You guys are not talking, right? So it makes you feel like, am I the only one? Is this like a real relationship? Is it just me? So I think there are all paranoid thoughts because of the Nine of Swords present here, but ultimately things are playing out just the way they have to. Okay, so pile number one, this was your reading. I really hope that you found a message. If you did, this was helpful. If you liked the way I did this reading today, do hit a like button, share the video, subscribe to my channel. Do let me know down in the comments section how well this resonated with you. Information for personal readings is given down below. You can contact me on my email, and I'm gonna see you guys in another one. Bye bye. Hello, pile number two. If you chose the Amethyst covered in titanium, this is going to be your reading. So you chose the card of compatibility. So I think that the main theme over here about, I feel like between both parties present over here, it's a lot about creating and kind of like finding out whether you guys have compatibility. Compatibility is all about creating synergy. So, meaning that we're looking at how both both parties can work together, right? And if they can, that is also given here. So compatibility is all about kind of like dating, seeing dating as an opportunity to find out if you both are compatible, your lives, your values, your core beliefs, basically if that aligns, and how would that be if the both of you are in each other's lives. So maybe this is a newer connection, something that may be a little bit unexplored, or there's a possibility that you both have known each other and you're trying to furthermore build compatibility, because this will be a strong spiritual connection. This could be a soulmate. I'm hearing specifically a spiritual soulmate connection. That's the word that I'm hearing. And it really gives me the idea that um, it's almost like you have a connection, but a connection still requires work. That's what I'm picking up over here. And I don't know why am I picking up on this OCD, something that's completely out of place with this, but it's almost like maybe in the past both of you have had partners, or one of you. I feel like, I would just say that maybe to the viewer that you have had partners with, you have not been very compatible, but you've been joined together because of a codependency in the past. And maybe you're reaching, and I feel like both parties over here are moving towards a secure attachment style because of the pre-established foundation within themselves. And what spirit is working with you both is to develop a foundation within yourself, to build a greater foundation in the relationship. When and if this comes together, this is already in place. So I pick up over here that spirit is working with the both of you to build a better synergy over here. So that's the keyword that I'm hearing, because I think that maybe and this is a fact of life. When you're with someone that you're not really compatible with, and we're going to remove the meant to be or not meant to be part, just the compatibility, even when it comes under friendships or something like that, you're always going to feel like you're not accepted for who you are. So compatibility is not just about creating that synergy, but also finding out if um, we do really get along. This is not something where you're forced to be in a relationship. Just because the connection is there, it doesn't mean that it's 100% foolproof. You know what I mean? It's like there might be a connection, but then you still have to figure out if both parties are willing to work on it, if you are willing to work on yourselves to make this work as well. So something about it is almost like a pre-existing. I keep getting the word pre-existing. If there's a possibility you have not come together with this person yet, or there's a lot of separation in energy, or you're working on your own separate ends and you feel divinely guided that this is happening so that we can come together, there can be scope of that. I feel like this is the right message, or this is the right ideology that you're suspecting, or intuitive nudge. It may be a confirmation for someone that spirit is trying to establish a foundation before you guys come together, so that it's easier. It's relatively easier to work with each other rather than to face that tug of war while being around each other, because that can cause unintentional hurt by either of parties to each other, right? So I think that spirit is working on this to build a synergy. That's what I keep hearing, synergy. So this is about, I also feel like parties on both ends are really reevaluating, like how do they really feel about this, and almost like in this sense where they're identifying what are their wants and wish, and what do they really want in a relationship with another person, right? So that's what I'm hearing. I also feel like whoever this male energy is, this male energy in this relationship, even if it's the same sex relationship, it's just the masculine energy, and you would know which one you are. um, um I feel like mostly it is the um other person, like the viewer is usually in their feminine energy. They're more curious about what's really going on. But I feel like in this case, maybe the masculine energy is someone that is, I'm picking up on this person, like coming more into an energy of being a man. Now that is just a way to explain their maturity over here. So if your masculine energy is in a woman, it means that she is turning more into woman like, so it's like it's not in a sense that somebody can be of age, right, mature age, but maturity is very different from becoming a boy to a man and a girl to a woman, right? So there's a difference, and the common denominator that I personally feel is an developed emotional body, and more of a regulated, I guess, nervous system, which is definitely not a very strong variable that we can use about regulated nervous system, but the ability to understand yourself and move past. I think those are a lot of things that um, kind of like lack in emotionally stunted people. So I feel like maybe this information really ties in with where we're dealing with. Maybe it's reevaluation of past, maybe childhood wounds in this, because what really blocks a person from knowing how to make a relationship work without turning sour or becoming a dysfunctional dynamic is two healthy individuals. And individuals are people that know how to grow out of their childhood, forgive and learn. Even though there are timings to it, it doesn't mean that it's I feel like it's very natural, and you're prone to create a dysfunctional relationship if it's just based off your inner child woundings, right? So I'm picking up on an alpha and beta energy. Something about this really gives me that here, I feel like specifically there's a lot of emphasis on the masculine energy wanting to take charge. So we're gonna see how this fits in. Okay, so spirit is telling me to pick up the, this is the connecting energy. Okay, this is person B. I'm gonna do two types of um, I'm gonna check how spirit is working with both people over here. I'm gonna refer to them as first person and second person. So I feel really guided to go on with the second person first of all. Okay, I feel like I need to take this in reverse. We have the truth card in reverse. We have the wild and the solar plexus. So for the connecting energy, I'm going to take this one in reverse. We have Tulsi in reverse, wealth. Um, this is Mercury and Jupiter, Comfrey. So Tulsi is 19 and we have Comfrey 32. This is completion. And this is the Saturn energy, okay. All right. So when we talk about the second person, which spirit is telling me would be you. It doesn't have to be if you resonate with both energies, there's mirroring, but I am hearing from spirit that mirroring might be with, of course, the connecting energies with what you're really feeling and how this process is making you feel towards each other. But I feel like what is really important is, first of all, we figure out about how you're feeling. So I'm already hearing that a lot of things that I might say would could be an insight into why you're feeling the way you're feeling, because I think that how this connection is impacting your point of view. Now, if this doesn't resonate, wait for the second part to open up. That might resonate with you. But I feel like with the second person over here, we have solar plexus, truth in reverse, which is um, the judgment. Okay, so this is judgment, and then we have wild over here. So truth in reverse is the judgment card, which is a lot about in ways in which we have undermined our own contribution to how situations have played out in our life. It's almost like where you have been wrong or where you have not been able to understand um kind of like particularly how you may have added to a situation. Or I feel like, the viewer, there's a specific undertone about you feeling like you don't really get along with people, or the people that you've been with in the past have been in some shape or form they have been um uh, they have been a catalyst to your own journey, but they have also been somewhere where you have always felt like a misfit. And being around people that don't really get us can always and directly impact our self-esteem. It makes us feel inadequate, like why don't we get along with them, or why is it not that easy for us to do the things that they're doing. It's almost like trying to fit yourself in places where you don't fit. So the second person over here, I feel like, has been involved in a lot of things that they were destined to go through until they met the first person over here, who was somewhat of a mirror of showing them what they were kind of doing wrong or where they were trying to force themselves to be. So this could be a place where already the second person was going through this phase of awaken or aligning. I was saying the word awakening their solar plexus, so that could be, or aligning with that thereof. It's almost like just in a way where you're just like, okay, you're working on your self-esteem, and you've been doing this work for a long time, because self-esteem and self-worth, I see them as being directly linked with your root chakra, right? Things that happened to you in your childhood and kind of closed you off. And I see where this person is reevaluating not only just their past, but what has happened to them and how their relationship with their parents, like I'm seeing something about their parents relationship directly impacting them and the way they feel about themselves. So it could be about a very preoccupied mother figure that wouldn't have the space to tend to this person's feeling, and a father figure that was, I'm getting the word, corrupted or very commercialized, like, he would be struggling to make ends meet or something like that. So this person is a product of, I hate to say it, but the most tedious issues in both their parents. This person has naturally inherited, because I feel like this person is a very strong empath, whoever the second person is. I'm hearing the word Hayoka, empath. So whoever the second person is, a very strong feeler. Let's just put it in that manner. They're a feeler, and feelers, what they do is they absorb, and once they come into their power, they know how to fluctuate the energies in a room. So it's almost like if this person, the second person, is still going through their moment of enlightenment and stepping into who they are. And a lot of it really, really impacts and relates with directly. Again, there's a lot of indication about things directly affecting them, about them having to understand their own power. So now I'm hearing the word filth. Now, I think that the second person has always felt like a misfit. It's almost like they feel very different. It's not like they would call themselves a black sheep or something like that. This person could have had an inferiority complex, which they would try to, I'm hearing maladaptive. It's almost like they would try to, adapt to the situation by telling themselves that they're very special, they're different, unique, and there was a little bit of spiritual ego or narcissism that we can say. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, don't take the word narcissism as something very serious that I'm saying. I'm just trying to describe a feeling or a thought pattern that we tend to adapt because we want to just learn how to survive, right? So this was a survival mode where this person felt like they just no longer resonate with a lot of things that are around them. So they started like feeling inferior on the internal level, but they used to cope up with it. It's maladaptive, right? To cope up with it, they started telling themselves a story that they're greater than other people around them. So something about this first person was a reflection to what they were manifesting in their own life due to this dysfunction, which was very difficult for them, because it's not that they're not different or class apart, or they're not they're like I'm hearing the word super feeler. Okay, that's just another word to describe how they really feel about things and why they're not getting along with the people that are around them. Is solely because of the fact that a lot of people around them are very, very stuck in the matrix over here. Well, I had a very sinking feeling that I was not recording. So it's almost like I feel like this person may also go through this fear of feeling like people can forget them. And that was directly being impacted or, projecting this person. Okay, so they keep bringing me back to the Comfrey card, which is the completion card. This really talks about the Saturn making the same mistakes, lack of closure, again revisiting past wounds in almost a sense where maybe this person always felt like they were like a background tab open in their parents' life, like they didn't feel quite prioritized. So this person also struggles with feelings of inadequacy. Again, that's where this was coming up for this person, the second person, where they almost feel like they're very easy to forget. And this is something that I again feel like if you are resonating with the second person so far, first of all, don't take the message that you were trying to cope up with this story to tell yourself that you're different and you're far superior than other people too seriously to your heart. Okay, it's just a feeling that I'm trying to describe over here using certain words. They may or may not be that intense or directly implied in your situation, but this message might resonate on a tangible level to the way that you do operate in your life, or if this is your person. Secondly, I feel like the thing that you feel so forgettable, um and the second person feels too forgettable, is not just because of the fact that they haven't, or they're on this journey of embracing who they really are. The second person is a wild freak. Like, I don't mean that like just about the bed sheets or something like that. I mean like this is a person who is like what you would call a witch or a warlock. People kind of are scared of the second person. People are scared of the second person's sovereignty. People are scared of the second person's independence. And that is something, if the first person would have seen them probably a few years, backwards in their journey, like 5-6 years back, who they were, the first person would have been very intimidated and scared, almost scared to the extent where people don't understand something, they start judging it and they start categorizing it, because that's the way human mind works. So I see that, there's some evolution that I have not opened the cards, but I intuitively pick up, I get this energy that these two are linked on a psychic level, on a base level. So something about this connection, I'm not going to lie, spirit is telling me that there is a little bit or something that connects with you, both on a root chakra level. So there could be a possibility of trauma bonding, and perhaps that is the reason why spirit is not letting you both be together, because it can not only just ruin the possibility of having a beautiful connection if and when it is meant to be. That's why I keep saying that. And the second thing is over here that, trauma bonding, after that you've experienced it, it can create a dysfunctional relationship, right? And that's what we were talking about, that you need to, it's almost like spirit, how they're working with you. And what is most important for you to know, the viewer, that spirit is doing this for the best of you, so that you actually do have a chance to hit it off with each other. Because maybe there is like a first love at first sight or something like that, which can offer you a dangerous fantasy. I do agree, but over here I feel like this is something that is massively unexplored, and that's the reason why maybe you find this reading within time to explain to you, like, why do I feel this connection when I don't even know this? Like falling in love with a stranger, or falling for a stranger when you don't quite understand like who they are. You're just kind of in love with maybe the soul that you recognize. That's the beauty, and also like I'm hearing the beast part of it, right? It's kind of scary. So I'm gonna open the first person's cards now. So I'm gonna take this one in reverse. This one in reverse as well. Destiny. Okay, very interesting. So destiny is the wheel of fortune completing a cycle, where I feel like Comfrey also says completion. So this is also with the second person, whereas the first person has rejection in reverse, which is the number 13th, and then we have 14 in reverse as well. So this person, the first person, is going through rapid progress in their life. So now this person, if they have been, now on a 3D perspective, wheel of fortune is a very good card to get for money and success, tangible, prospectus. And I think that this person, if they're working towards a career or something like that, this is also their time. If the second person has been curious about what keeps them so away from you, what keeps them so away and busy from you, is also their career. Because at this point, this person knows that it's in their dharma to receive what they've sown. So maybe this person is getting their big break, maybe this person is getting some sort of stepping stone that they know. And I hear that this is also possible for the second person. Again, this is not a mirroring thing, but I feel like this card really denotes a lot of things that are valuable on a core level for both of you. Because something about this connection is very destined, in the sense where I feel like you are being given an opportunity to align with each other. So this is like a make it or break it. And I don't want you to feel like this is completely on you or the burden of pressure is on you. I feel like you should give it to God. You should give it to spirit, to bring what is best for the both of you whenever you do and if count it in your prayers. I feel like for the first person with, the patience card, which is the temperance in reverse, this person is wanting to, I feel like the first thing I hear is that they want to give an explanation to the second person as to why they have not been around. And I think that they wouldn't give you this career kind of baloney is what I'm hearing. I think this person would tell you the kind of things that they're going internally with. I think this person is also going through a revelation moment. Like this person is realizing a lot about the things that they have rejected in their own past. Let's just say that maybe this person has had experienced maybe spiritual connections in their past. Maybe they have experienced that instant spark, but they've never been crazy is the word I'm hearing. I was about to say brave, but they've never been crazy enough to go and explore it out there. But something about the first person feels like the second person fits all of their boxes. Now this is where it gets juicy, right? Because I think that in terms of how they feel, it's almost like spirit is reminding, and I hear bombarding them with signs of the second person. Because the second person, as much as they're like being coddled up by spirit, the second person doesn't realize how much they're favored by the universe. And if they truly want the first person, there's something very blessed about the second person that I pick up over here. And it's not because they're special or something like that, okay? You must be special, okay? Everybody is special in their own way. And I think that is a very kind way to say that, but it's almost in the sense where the second person doesn't realize that they are very, very precious, and they're very unique in their own ways, in shape or form in which they present their gifts and their values to the world. And I think that the second person is very humble and is kept humble by the universe because of their divine gifts. But I feel like the first person is in awe and really, really does recognize the second person as well. I think that the first person over here is someone that could have been quite egotistical in the past. They did not believe in all of this love at first sight kind of baloney, is what I'm hearing. And I think that at this point, this completion is offering both of them to unleash. And I'm hearing the song "The Climb" by Miley Cyrus. So something about the first person also feels really sad about the fact that they may or may not have, they may have intentionally or unintentionally, but I'm hearing that they knowingly, they knew how their actions were impacting other people, and it could have been, to the second person as well. It's almost like this person is still having to relearn and pick up those pieces of themselves, which do include a good amount of guilt and shame for what they have done in their past. So with the Tulsi card, this really gives us this energy of Mercury and Jupiter, where Mercury really symbolizes maybe playing mind games, and I hear redemption, and also repentance is something that I'm hearing. That with the wheel of fortune, it's not just like this person is going to reap what they have sown in terms of good karma, but bad karma is also coming back. And I'm hearing 2024 really signifies the number 8, so a lot of it is coming back, where I think that the delusions that were keeping the second person safe in, again, I hear the word maladaptive, like practices which were helping them keep them safe in their own bubble, is something that the universe is purposely like poking, like, hey, you know what, you are meant to have friends out there, you are meant to have other people out there that you are more compatible with. And so does it really work for the first person, where they're like, this is possible for you, this is possible for you to have a family, you can feed them really well, you can keep them well. And I think a good part of why they used to reject other suitors, or make believe themselves that they don't really have what it takes to be with other people, is because of their fears of inadequacy. That I feel like, specifically if the first person is a man, the man that we were talking about before, the masculine energy, it's almost like because they had fears of inadequacy and they didn't want to be shown that in their face. So maybe the first person, if they're a man specifically and they had a father figure that used to be incompetent, they couldn't give their family what they wanted, and this is very alpha masculine male, this person used to feel really, really insecure about the fact that can they put that food on their table, right? They're reminding me of a song by Eminem. He says that he was rapping, I forgot that was like, I love Eminem songs, but I kind of like get really mixed up in my head about which one is which. But in that one specific song, I think it was Mockingbird, he says that daddy couldn't put food on the table, and that was his downfall, like paraphrasing. So it's almost like this, it's like, it's something that is very primal for men, right? Even if we as women, or I would just say about myself, that I can't understand completely the pride factor of it, but it tends to make a man feel really emasculated, is the best I can probably understand. And I think that this person was always pretty fearful about that well, will they be able to do that? So something about is, you see like how spirit is working with this person. I started off by saying that they're getting something back in their career, where they're getting their big break, and this is helping this person really, really work on their internal issues, which were also a reason why they used to use ambition as an escape to intimacy. All in accumulation is something that is working in your favor. I hope that the first thing that you take from this reading is, if and when, I always say that because this is a general reading and I don't want to get your hopes up too high by promising you a false reality or a narrative, right? But I also want to offer you the benefit of the doubt by saying that this situation, if there is anything that you take from this reading, and if you were called to this pile, it was definitely for you. But anything you can take from this is that it's all working in your favor, whether you are able to see it or not. And I'm trying to decipher that for you, that this situation totally wants to work in your own favor. So this is how spirit is really working with the both of you. I'm gonna pick up these cards now because I feel like it's my cue to see how is this impacting the way that both of you really see each other? Yeah, I keep hearing this song, Hush Little Baby, Down to Cry, Everything's Gonna Be Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna begin off with how the first person is generally feeling about this situation. There's something that I'm hearing that, the first person can't really hold any longer, especially because we had the patience card in reverse, which is a lot about the temperance in reverse that can signify a lot of impatience, Sagittarius energy. I'm also hearing that this person wants to be pinned down. I think that the reason why they used to avoid commitment or deeper relationships not wasn't just because their own fears, but their fear of inadequacy that used to manifest as them creating blockages purposely for themselves. And I think for the second person, it was a lot about the indifference, uh, the indifferent, in, oh, the indifference that they were creating purposely for themselves. Like, I think that the second person has probably been through a lot of spiritual cycles. The second person was, I was referring them to, I was referring the second person as you. That is just my guess over here. I feel like the second person purposely would create barriers in forming deeper connections with people because of their disappointment. I feel like the second person is someone that cannot do small talk. Like, I completely understand that. It's almost like it's too much of inauthenticity for the second person to bear because they're such a feeler. They would rather sit and hear what happened to you when you were five or about your first heartbreak than to sit and ask you, like, how was your day and what did you eat? So that's something where, the second person's inability to give people the benefit of the doubt, because it's almost like being impatient in both scenarios that this can truly happen for me. So let's see how is this impacting both of you and how you're feeling about each other. Um, with the first person, the Nine of Pentacles, Eight of Pentacles in reverse, the Sun in reverse. Okay, we have the Moon bottom of the deck with the Six of Swords. So this is Cancer and Leo energy. And I do have an archetype which I don't feel guided to open as of yet. And for the second person, Nine of Cups, King of Cups, Page of Pentacles, and I saw two cards fall out. The Knight of Swords and the Queen of Cups in reverse. Oh, okay. So we're very triggered by each other right now. The Magician in reverse and the Queen of Cups in reverse. So I do have an archetype which I am going to open up. Okay, this is the Hermit in reverse, the shadow attribute. Withdraws from society, withdraws from society out of fear of negative judgment of others, refusing to help those in need. This is what I said about the second person, Hermit, because I feel like for the second person, it's very important to recognize that you were kept in isolation for a time frame, and you may feel or self-inflict isolation on yourself now due to this fact that you feel like you're different. And I think that the second person struggles with dealing this sense of being apart, because I think that the second person is so used to being in the um, on the back burner because of their parents. Do you see how that comes in a 360 roundabout, that the second person is someone that's still is infested with this wound of feeling neglected, of feeling unimportant, that now they make themselves like that. It's like a default mode where they make themselves like, okay, you know what, I think I shouldn't. It's like they're very comfortable with being hidden. So the second person, if it could be someone that, you're like, you like to wear too much of dark colors so that you're not noticeable, or you just get out in the dark, and it's a little difficult for you to be around a lot of people, where, or maybe you have this fear of being seen. That's what I was really concluded at, right? And I think when it comes for the first person, we have another shadow attribute, exorcist. For the second person, we had hermit. So we have freeing yourself and others of destructive, impulses, and shadow is fear of facing your own demons, right? So spirit is telling me for the first person, how they're feeling right now is the light attribute, which is freeing yourself and others of destructive impulses. This person is healing a daddy wound. This person is healing their father figure. This person, I said this in the first pile, and I say that when we children break generational curses of our families, we are not only doing what our ancestors in the spirit would want, but we're doing things that our present ancestors, meaning our fathers, our grandparents, our forefathers, our grandmothers, our mothers, we are freeing all of them. We are not acting superior, or we're showing that, ooh, we could do that because we're the new Gen Z generation or something like that. We're doing that because we have decided that we're going to put in that strength. So there's something about today's era which is painful, right? In today's date, you see there's so much awareness about depression and mental illness. It is because I see everything as God's timing, okay? Somebody else may not see it as that, but I see it as something that evolution of mankind has come to a part where God's greatest creation at this point is freeing itself from itself. So this is something where you are not just healing yourself, you're healing your ancestors. So something about this is mimicked within both of you, where you're going through a difficult phase and you're triggered. Heck yeah. And how this is making the first person feel is somewhere, the first person is so prone to seeing themselves as doing wrong by others so much. I don't know if the first person was so criticized or this is self-inflicted, but I hear that the first person really criticizes themselves. They're really down about the fact that they have to choose their career right now, even though this person is making a logical choice. This could be something that is like an autopilot default choice that this person uses ambition to escape intimacy. But with the first go, I did hear from spirit that this is their time to reap what they've sown, and maybe this is very important for the first person to tend to their career, meanwhile which serves as a breathing space for the second person to recognize their own strength, because this could be manifesting as the second person also reaping what they've sown. 2024 equals to 8, the number of karma, where what you have given out will come back to you. So if the second person has been putting out their best intentions to get things back for themselves, and it could be for the second person to be truly happy within themselves and find people that also pour into them, because I see how these cups are pouring into one another. It's almost like it's the second person, and see, hey, you may have felt really different, but this is the time where you probably call in your soul tribe, you call in people that are like you. And I think a part of it was calling in the first person, because your helper may not look like your helper, is what I'm hearing. First person may not look like the ideal person who will set you free from this, but they are already doing that. And they might have thought the same thing. But I see something about this where the second person is having to really hold back. I'm hearing that song, it's potty time, can't hold it no more. But it's almost like I really hear that the both of you are ready to like just be like, I just want to be with you. Like I feel like even though spirit is like, I see two people that spirit is really having to hold back, because I think it's not just that your souls want to be with each other, but it's also your inner child, which is a recipe for disaster right now. I see that the sun, and then this woman is holding the moon over here. The feminine energy is what the feminine energy can do best. she's doing the best as she can, the second person, and the masculine energy is doing what they can do the best. So in some shape or form, whether you believe it or not, both people are doing the best that they can in this situation, and spirit is honestly very proud of both of you, because no amount of cards, and I read intuitively, and I see that, you know, both people are doing the best that they can, and this is just this is just a game of divine, honestly. Like, if you were sitting in front of me, I would tell you the same thing, that trust what divine is doing in your life, whether it's with this person or not. You know, the universe really has both of your backs, and you are in alignment. That's one thing for sure. Okay, this is working out in your favor. So before I conclude this reading, I'm gonna pull out a channel message from each parties. So this one is the second person. I am so sorry. I don't know how to place this, but you know, if the second person is you, or you suspect that to be your person, they're saying sorry. I don't know how to place this, so I'm going to reshuffle. So this is the first person. I feel empty without you, because they do. Um, I'm hearing you're my light. That's what I'm hearing. The second person says secrets and deception. So they would like to tell the first person that they're hiding a lot of sexual fantasies, romantic. I'm hearing lustful energy. Like, the second person may be someone that um, practices celibacy, or maybe there's someone that's just been longing for a soulful connection. Like, the second person is someone that we outwardly know that this person is someone that is like a vampire for emotional connectivity. So this person, you know, if they feel a very drawing connection towards the first person, I can understand why they're so like hungry for the first person, because this is someone that thrives off emotional connections. And I think that this is relatively something that scares the first person, but they're very, very enticed by it. They're almost like, I feel like the second person's exterior, the vessel that they're in, is something that the first person is very, very attracted to as well. And nevertheless, I did mention that the first person sees the second person's great qualities that are intrinsic. So it's almost like being beautiful outside and inside for the both of you, in fact. And what's the connecting energy? Destiny is taking us down different paths. Both of you are a little bit confused. Bottom of the deck, I can see myself with you for the long term. Alrighty, pile number 2. This was an excellent reading, very, very insightful. If you did like this, it was good for you, or if it gave you insight, please do hit the like button, share the video. Do let me know this down below, how well it resonated with you. Information for personal readings is given down below. You can contact me at my email, and I'm going to see you guys in the next reading. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 3. If you chose the clear quartz, this is going to be your reading. So you chose the card of self-respect. So I think that with just the obvious statement of the word, this is self-respect. The theme of your pile is all about, where have you been disrespecting yourself? This connection comes in as I'm hearing a savior. With the main purpose of this connection has been all about respecting yourself, raising your standards for both people over here. I think that I'm seeing a lot of root chakra. So for few of you, I am picking up on certain physical symptoms of the stress that is manifested in you and your person, as self-abandonment. That I'm hearing is like tapping foot, or walking on your toes, or biting your nails, or chipped nails, or hair loss, or scars, rashes. That for some people, I'm hearing that you think that you have an allergy which you've not really had as a child, but for a few of you, this is something that really manifests as strong symptoms of stress and anxiety, where the body is not able to withhold all of that trauma in the nervous system. So I see that this is a lot about you both having to deal with your own baggage on your own separate ends. How spirit is working with you as a catalyst for each other in each other's lives is somewhere where you return back home to yourself. This could be an energy where the both of you long for home. You have a lot of yearning for each other. You have this energy where I can't be without this person. Maybe when you're together, there's like a cat and dog kind of a fighting, because the way you both, behave with each other. Oh, I have marker. um it's like the way you both behave with each other. It's kind of like in symmetry is what I'm hearing. Like your person and your connection is kind of like, you may feel like two peas in a pod, but on a spiritual level, what I see is two people that have had come in agreement in a contract that at this point in our life, it's almost like I'm seeing the clock ticking at reaching at this specific maturation age or maturation point. I'm getting an FD reference. It's almost like at this point when we reach in our lives, we're going to start working on this together. So it's pre programmed. It's all like I'm getting an itinerary. It's almost like this person had to come in at this point in your life, where spirit is telling me that everything that you're going through with this person was specifically destined for you to go with them, so that you can grow. Mainly, and I'm not going to sugarcoat this is completely up to your own interpretation. If it makes you a little bit bitter, or like I just don't want to accept it, it's completely up to you. But what I see over here, that the main purpose that spirit tells me is, this is so that you can start valuing yourself. You can start seeing yourself not through the eyes of what has happened to you and how you have internalized that, but to refresh your memory and come to the conclusion that you are worthy regardless of whatever has happened. You are worthy whether you do or do not have money. You are worthy whether you do or do not go after your dreams. You are worthy whether you do or do not indulge with other people, poor behaviors, or if you have made mistakes or not. Nothing is shaking your worthiness at a core level. So anything that maybe you guys have had arguments, maybe you both have played your own part in, I'm getting the word demeaning each other or taking out your anger, which I really see that it comes from your own childhood respectively. And I see that the both of you have projected onto each other. I really see that maybe if you guys have had conflict, this could revolve around the fact that the aggression that you're taking out is not just on this person, it's a misdirected outlet for what your parents had done to you both. And this may be difficult to understand, and this is not at all to criticize you. We all make mistakes, but this is the journey, this is the pathway, as you can see in the card, that leads us back to home. Our home is not in anybody else. Pile number 3, our home is within ourselves. This sense of longingness, when you go through trauma, when you go through deep fears of abandonment, a part of you that gets infiltrated, a part of you that gets infiltrated with worldly experiences and other people's projections, and perhaps the way your parents have treated you, or just being in a family unit or a social group or community. A lot of people over here, with the way that they treat you growing up from an infant to an adult, we are not always equipped at processing our emotions. Often these things, if people around us don't know how to do that, we won't know how to do that for ourselves. So it infiltrates our sense of belongingness within ourselves. Okay, so what it does is it starts separating us from who we are at a soul level, slowly by slowly, because of what messages we've received and internalized as a small child. It's almost like a new computer that is learning programming. Okay, so let's see, programming is something, the way that you've been spoken to. So imagine yourself as, we're just going to personify a computer as you. And I'm going to say that you are, the computer, and your parents are the user. So the way your parents are talking to you, your parents are typing it out and the computer is registering it as the software. So now whatever in ways the parents or the group or the community around you has spoken to you, how your upbringing has been, and you would know exactly how it has been. So if you categorize it as painful, troubled, not loved, not respected, this is how you have learned to treat yourself. So the programming has been rewritten in a sense where it should have been told that you are valuable, you are lovable. It should have all been, written down into you, programmed into you, where now their own projections had become yours. So it's a pass down of that, right? So over here, Spirit has been working with us, both of you, in this connection to teach you how to rewrite that programming. And it's painful because the computer is going through this process of nullification. Almost like the computer has to kind of like be like, okay, we are rewriting you, so now we have to reboot you completely. And the reboot process is so painful because both people over here are so attached to what they have known, that right now the only place that they see is the person that is triggering them, right? It's almost like we can't blame the mirror for doing the work that it is supposed to do. Don't blame the mirror for reflecting back what it simply is supposed to do. And your person is a mirror to you, and so are you. You see this pathway, it's kind of like, reflective. It's like a mirror. So your person is honestly, and this may be something that you don't want to accept about it, your person is your well-wisher in the spiritual realm. Your person is your clear quartz. Your person is the one that hurts us the most, or the one that feels the most threatening, is the one that has come in our lives to set us free. That's why this person has such a strong impact on you and your life. And I feel like a lot of rumination takes place. So I have pre-shuffled cards, okay, for both people. I'm going to refer to them as first person and the second person. In the middle, we're going to have connecting energies. So I'm going to open the first person's cards. We have this. We have this in upright, intuition. I'm going to take this in reverse, and this also upright, okay. Selling out in reverse. So what I am really seeing with the first person over here is that you may resonate with the first person. Energies can be swapped, or they can be mutual. That could be mirroring, which I am picking up, that you are also the pile that has mirroring. And I feel like maybe you could be the pile that you can also watch pile number 1. That may help you. But I think that over here we have the first person, which may or may not be you. That's what I intuitively pick up. So I think that this is the energy with the balance. This is justice, and intuitions is the high priestess card with selling out in reverse. Let's talk about the balance. This is Libra, and then we have Pisces respectively. So I see that with the justice energy, this really tells me about someone who is kind of like turned their back against this connection. Now that could be you or your person, both of you, but I see that the first person is someone who is turning their back against this connection. They are a little bit of an avoidant energy right now. And I see that this person is struggling with connecting with themselves. Even though the high priestess is upright, I think that this high priestess not only just talks about the fact that a lot of illusions are being, I'm hearing the word rectified. It's almost like things that we choose to believe. That's what I'm hearing with illusions. I'm kind of hearing that another word to go with it is like things are being rectified, like your beliefs. An illusion, I would say that, the same thing that I said, the kind of programming that had been done in you, it's being rectified. It's being shown to you now, that is wrong, but this is right. So, this is what you should follow. So your intuition is leading you to believe better things for yourself and coming back into balance, because imbalanced energy, again, the root chakra that I pick up over here, could be someone who has struggled with liberating themselves to be their authentic selves. It's almost like this energy where I was told that I should behave in so and so a manner, because if I don't, I remember that when I used to go against my parents' will, they would take away their love from me, they would punish me, or they would tell me that I'm a bad girl or a bad boy. So that kind of like what do you say, a story, or I would say like that kind of an equation or a formula keeps playing out in your life, where you're like, if I go a little bit on the sidelines of what boundary I've been told not to step out of, I think that people will start rejecting me. So I see that the first person has decided in this connection where spirit is working to encourage them in this point in their life to be what they want to be. So this could result in with justice as some sort of maybe career path changing. Maybe this person awakening to the fact that they don't want to be what their parents have told them to be. It could relate to profession. It could relate to relationship choices. It could relate to just overall theme. I would say that for the first person, really comes down to parents' approval. That's what I'm really picking up over here. We do have, number one from the selling out, when we have two from intuition, and then we have 11. So these are really strong numbers that show me of a progression, but also with the number 11, this is a master number. I hear that I hear that manifestation is inevitable. It's almost like this sense where maybe the first person used to struggle with believing that they can be who they want to be. And I feel like a childhood version of the first person, now, if that is you or your person, the childhood version of you always wanted someone like you, who you are today in the present moment, to secure them, to make them feel safe. And it is such a it's not an irony, but it's almost like this equation of what we understand as our future self helping us to become this person, because the present moment of you wants it so much. And it's because of that reason that it wants it so much, because a future version of you is already existing. Did I mess that up? I think I said a future version. I mean that the present version of you wants it so much because a future version of you already has it. And that's what I see over here. So maybe the first person has struggled with manifestation and belief in themselves, not because of the fact that they don't deserve it, but because they thought that they didn't deserve it. That's what I'm picking up over here. So spirit is overall working on defining your own lifestyle, your quality, also with the judgment and the higher priestess. It's about being more authentic. And this is a roundabout. I see that with the judgment. With the justice, this is almost like the energy of a lot of things playing out in your background. You don't understand completely, but there's like a default mode and autopilot mode that is going on in your life, that things are just playing out the way they have to. And there's a trigger at every corner. And maybe this is a very difficult phase for the first person. I hear for both people involved over here, but specifically what with the cards that we have over here, it's almost like the first person is really struggling with whatever is happening. It's a very painful process, because this is the process which is treating this person like no more, like putting your foot down and be like, enough is enough. And I think that this could be resulting in a lot of agony, a lot of frustration, a lot of anger towards a higher power that is in their life, whatever they believe in or pray to or worship to. It's almost like this person is frustrated, this person is cussing out, or almost has agony towards how their life is, their lifestyle, and how life has turned out for them, and how painful it is because of the presence of the second person, because they truly just want to be loved and understood. But that is what they remind me again, that the younger version of you would be so proud because the first person is exactly who they needed in their childhood. And this anger really comes from a place of not being understood. So wherever your anger is coming from, it's not exactly from your adult self. You need to give it more space and grace. I would really say that your inner child really needs space. Whoever the first person is, you really need space to let this anger out in whichever way it can. And not to be destructive towards anybody else or yourself, but just plain anger needs to be expressed, because maybe they were taught that anger is a bad emotion and they don't know how to take that out. So I see a lot of passive aggressiveness, and passive aggressiveness, if you feel like it's not there, it can manifest as jealousy when other people have their achievements, because you're like, it probably won't happen for me, or not being able to be happy for other people when things that they've worked hard for or prayed for come alive in their life. Or it could be facing maybe a little bit of bitterness when other people, they see people in specifically relationship, because this first person kind of believes that people that are loved are the ones that are worthy, and if they don't have a partner, then they're not worthy. So their self worth is kind of attached with the second person, because this person struggles to see themselves as worthy as a single person. That could be something that was programmed within them, especially if this is a woman. I think that really implies over here with this person. So I'm going to open the connecting energies now. So which one do we take? Okay, we're going to take this one upright and this one in reverse. We have Amanita. This is 42. This is Neptune, Pluto, and Mercury. This is in the reverse. This is the connecting energy. And then we have Ayukasa. This is 50 rebirth. Pluto, Jupiter, Neptune. So this is the irony of it, right? Because I said that there's something that's going on in autopilot mode, and with Ayukasa, it's almost like a trance energy, right? Because Ayukasa is a drug; it's a shamanic experience, and I see that over here that this with the shamanic experience, it's almost like whenever Ayukasa is consumed or DMT, whatever you call it, it is done under the supervision of a shamanic person, right? Someone that is able to guide you through that. So I see that, and it's a pretty short experience, right? I think I've read about it. I think it lasts for a few minutes, but it feels like a lifetime kind of a journey, because it really makes you face the deepest fear that you've had. And with the rebirth, it's almost like they say that once you've experienced DMT or Ayukasa, whatever it is, you come alive as a very different person. You will never go back to the person you used to be. And the thing about it is, like, it's a make it or break it kind of a thing. Once you come out of it, it really depends on how it is. Like, they say that it's like a near death experience, right? So it makes you face your deepest fears, and that's the connecting energy over here. Both people are facing their fears at a very amplified level, because I say, and that's what I truly believe with my own personal experiences, like, deeper the love, deeper the fear. So if the love is so deep, you're going to be very scared of losing them. That's why it makes it more difficult for you to take charge in the situation, which is where I think spirit brings me in with the second person. Okay, they want me to talk about the reversed energy in this. Something that I hear with connecting energies, and ironically, I'm hearing that this is in reverse. Something that disconnects the both of you is your lack of belongingness. It's almost like the both of you, your inner childs, really want to belong with each other, but spirit is like, I'm going to keep you a little bit at distance. So maybe there is on and off connection. There's a push and pull over here. And that is because of that, because spirit acknowledges the fact that the both of you want to be with each other so badly because of a connection, but a more stronger underlying, what's the word? Factor. Yes, thank you, spirit. A factor why you want to be with each other so badly is because of trauma bonding. Now, you may or not like that, may or may not like that, and I am not a psychologist, but this is just the information that I am channeling, that I feel over here is because the both of you feel very, very accepted because of your dark past, or perhaps the lack of love in your relationship. So the way both of you treat each other, and because it's so precisely like, two peas in a pod, um the well, I'm just facing amnesia right now. The reference that I gave of two peas in a pod, it's almost like this is why it is, because the both of you trigger each other right in the place that spirit wants you to. It's almost like, that maturation period that came in your soul contract, like, we're going to meet now. So circumstances have aligned in such a manner which can make you feel like this is my perfect person, and I am not at all negating your experiences or your beliefs, but I am saying that the deeper purpose of this, and thus the breakdown of it, is such in a manner that you can understand why does it not feel like a trauma bond. Why does it feel like, you know uh, her blabbering about my spiritual connection that I have with this person is solely because of the fact, because this person represent exact like prototype of your parent, of a parent. Now that would depend on the gender. If you're a woman, this person would be exactly like your father. This person triggers all the abandonment wounds that your father had perhaps given you. And if you're a man watching, this person is exactly like your mother, and it makes you fearful to be around her, because I see that a lot of it is when whoever the man is over here is very, very scared of the woman. And I don't see it as somewhere where it's a win. It's somewhere where the wrath of her, the aggression that comes out, perhaps I pick up, I feel a little bit that it is, the first person over here. I could be wrong, but I pick up that the aggression over here is something that this person is very used to. the masculine energy over here, this could be a same sex relationship, so feel free to pick whatever you resonate with. But I pick up the masculine energy has been very riddled and almost like comforted by the pain and pleasure, the mix of it. So it's almost like when the feminine energy is secure in herself, she is loving, but when she feels triggered by the masculine, she is purging out her anger. And this is what creates a trauma bond for the masculine, where he feels like this is exactly like my mother. So it's very confusing for the masculine energy. That's what I'm picking up, because he doesn't understand if this is love or if this is abuse. And that is where we fail to understand this is a trauma bond. Now, that doesn't have to negate your experience as a spiritual connection. I am not at all saying, pile number 3, that, this is not a spiritual connection, and what you believe is far, more closer to the truth than what a tarot reader probably tells you. So feel free to discard any messages that do not resonate with you, okay? Because you can connect with the pile energetically, and maybe you have certain messages that do resonate, but not at the intensity level that maybe for another person, where this reading completely resonates with them, right? So for the second person, we have the Triumph card upright, we have the Awareness in reverse, and we have the Phoenix rising in reverse. So given the Awareness card, this is all about the Magician energy being in reverse, the Phoenix rising in reverse, and the Triumph card is all about the Chariot energy. The second person over here is kind of like a very subdued energy, a very melancholic energy. This person could be someone, the second person, that is riddled with also some sort of substance abuse. This person is not being able to conclude a cycle that was existingly working, or was in their life before the first person, okay? And I think that the second person represents your person. I could be wrong again, or this could be also your energy, where they are coming out of a relationship or still working through the baggage of that relationship. I think with number 32 reduces to 5, we have 7 and then 1 over here. This is almost like the energy of someone that needed a push. And I think that as much as I have explained perhaps a little bit of darker attributes of the first person, the first person really inspires the second person to really move forward where they have been stagnant. It's almost like a reason to work on themselves. So you may be someone, and if you resonate with the first person, you know inside that you are a reason why this person wants to work on themselves, because they have not felt this love. This is someone that had completely given up. This is someone that was in shambles. Their heart was broken because of their past relationship, and I would really place my bet upon the fact that they were in a serious relationship before. It's almost like this energy that some people are not die-hard players, so to speak. Some people just become like that or pretend to be that because they just want to protect themselves from other people hurting them. It's like they live a false narrative or an image. Again, this really reduces down to an image that this person had built for themselves in a survival mode. And right now, first person is enabling this person to break that defense mechanism. It's like a barrier that they had created, like, oh, I'm a playboy, I'm a playgirl, people should be scared of me because, I am the one who leaves before they can leave me. That is the energy, and that is the deepest fear that this person is working upon, because this represents a mother figure. And I feel strongly, because of the gender norms that spirit is giving me, that this could be a man whose mother was pretty unstable. Now, this is exactly why this person fears that the first person can leave them at any given time, even though it kind of works like an amplification that I should really work on myself. It serves a speedy process, like a TikTok timer, but then again, it also causes this person a lot of confusion, because the first person might be the only one thinking that I don't know if I can rely on them, but the second person also definitely feels like this person, if I don't act right, can leave me. So do you see the pain and pleasure that contrasts in this? I think that if you are this person and you're listening about this connection from a third person perspective, this might bring bittersweet feelings, because you may understand this connection from a higher perspective, but a part of you that would be intellectually stimulated by the understandings and mechanics of this relationship might spook you out, because you'd be like, okay, you know what, like I'm kind of realizing the dysfunctionality in this. But fear not, okay, because I think that through my own personal experiences, we are supposed to go through these messy situations, and I think the calculation or the strategy of getting out of this or how this will play out is not at all your burden of pressure. Leave it on the universe to figure out what happens next. Just focus on what the mirror is showing you. Don't blame the mirror for showing you what it does. Put more of your effort in doing what you can to improve yourself, because at the end of the day, you're looking to belong to yourself, not this person. And as much of a hoo-ha or a spiritualist this can sound, that you're looking to belong to yourself, this is the truth. We're all looking a way back to ourselves. And the more you try to defy this, the more you will get stuck in the 3D illusions of life. If you try to defy the fact that you want to belong to yourself, you'll find you'll try. Let's put it that way. You'll try to find your happiness in another person. In money, you'll try to find that in some profession, something that defines your identity on a 3D level. But you're not like that. And I think that's why you're ready to receive this message, that find yourself. You know how they say, before you find your soulmate, find your soul, comma, mate. I had to mention that punctuation, but that's what they say. Find your soul, mate. So it's almost like this analogy where I think that, the second person may not understand that, but I find the first person to be relatively more in this space and welcoming of the information that I may or may not offer that would be useful for them. Whereas for the second person, I think the only thing that really flows over here, that this person and their progress is not your burden. You are already carrying so much, so let their progress be their own, because this person is moving forward. You see, even though they may seem like they're blind, they may seem like to the first person that they're not getting anywhere, but the universe is working in their life. And you may think that, why am I the one to change him or her? Well, you're not the one to do that. This person is doing it themselves. I hate to take, your trophy away, but this person's higher self is making them go through this. If this person signed a contract with you on a spiritual level, Akashic record, then it is their own path. And you should be somewhere, in hindsight, be a little bit happy that you were the one who brought that to them and they brought that to you. But this person is not dumb. Whoever the second person is, they are also gifted in their own way. They may be a little bit behind than the first person, and that's what Spirit is telling me, but this person is also there to serve a greater purpose. The signification of their strength stands in the fact that this person is also working and they chose to be in the masculine energy. It means that our dharma, a purpose of life, there's a reason why we incarnate as a female gender and a masculine gender. So it doesn't really take away from the struggles of our life. It just means that everything is pre-planned. So it doesn't make you any superior or, inferior if you're a man or a woman, right? You're just fulfilling your own roles over here. So I'm going to take out these cards and I'm going to find out how is it making both people, both parties over here feel about each other. I honestly sense a very big negation on, if you're the female, that you undermine or you underlook, you kind of look down upon the masculine in this reading. And I think that it was a little bit important from Spirit to point out that this person is neither more than or less than you. Maybe they might be a little bit, behind in your journey, but Spirit doesn't see people in that manner, okay? All right, so let's see, how does the second person feel first? I feel guided to do that. How does the second person feel about the first person through this, and how it is just making them view them? The first thing that I hear is that, this person really misses the other person. We have the Queen of Wands. Knight of Swords. Emperor, Eight of Cups. So I would definitely say that with all upright cards, this gives me like a strong flow of energy, which is one thing that Spirit keeps reminding me is that don't take, if you are the first person, don't take the burden of pressure about how things are going to flow in this person's life, because Spirit is incognito mode. It's like maybe, you see like your person over here, the man is like, you see that they're not connecting to their intuition. How will they move forward? Because I use my divine energy, but that is the plus and minus that I've been trying to explain of both genders. God created two genders for a very specific reason with their own respective strengths and weaknesses. Women are usually more driven by their intuitiveness because they represent the yin energy. Men are more driven by their willpower and their ability to create, because they represent the yang energy. And that is the reason why we feel, as we incarnate as a specific gender, we feel safer in allotment of tasks. Or women usually have been the home what's that word, the caregiver, the homemaker, and men have been the one that are the provider and protector because of their respective strengths and weaknesses, right? So with the flow of this, the female might think that the man is not able to move forward, but it does not disregard the fact that they also exist, coexist with their yin energy within them, because all people have masculine and feminine energies over here. So their feminine energy is spirit guiding them, incognito mode. So their instinct is taking them the way they have their dharma to unfold. Okay, bottom of the deck we do have Six of Cups and the Three of Cups. Because of all the cards upright, I feel like this is a flowing energy where this person is walking through whatever they've been given at hand. I do understand the concept of free will, but if you're aligned with this message, best believe that healing is already taking place because the mirror is there. Oh, we do have an archetype. For your person, we have Liberator. Freeing yourself and others from outmoded beliefs, release negative thought patterns. Shadow is imposing your tyranny over you. Claim to liberate, ignoring legitimate constraints. Where this person had made, this playboy kind of an image, a false narrative that tells you that you're more freer than commitment to one person, because it maybe limits your ability to be free. It's like a false narrative. This is another illusion. This is another, so to speak, programming. It's because of lack of feeling safe in another woman's warmth. And that is something being reflected not only by the first person over here, whoever the feminine is, because she is also transmuting her karmic energy into divine. Both of you are doing this hand in hand. And again, do not feel as if there's something to be ashamed of it, because you are also someone that is on your own path. And as much as we always want to be divine in life to up level, we will always go through a karmic energy or a karmic phase to transmute or alchemize that through and become divine, right? So this is the ebb and flow of life. So in terms of how the second person feels over here is, well, they've tried to walk away from this because it's painful for them. But I think a lot of what they're trying to really transmute right now is this deluded concept that they are the man when they're not exactly taking the divine masculine abilities. So this is a shameful process for the second person, or where the man is over here, because with the Emperor again, Aries energy with the Knight of Swords, this could be an impulsive person that is learning how to become more confident with the Queen of Wands in their own energy, and how they're feeling towards you. This the first person perhaps is almost like this energy that I see my reflection and I know that it's not very pretty. I don't like it. You may love it. You may tell me that you still want to be with me, but because how much you want me, I don't know if I have been around someone that wants me so much. So it makes me a little bit suffocated. But internally, when I'm away from you on a physical level, I feel like I really want it. So there's this push and pull in this person, which I feel would be mirrored by the first person as well. So this person is actually disgusted by their own reflection. lack for a better word. And I think that whenever they come closer to the first person or the respective counterpart, it makes them even more like, I'm getting the image of somebody throwing up, because it really reminds them of who they genuinely have been. And this is very important for them to really, really look themselves in the eye, because you cannot shame yourself into a better version. You can only love yourself into a better version. And this is the hard truth of the specific situation, right? For the first person, oh my god, this is a little bit difficult, you know. We have Hierophant, Taurus. We have beginning, so this is the Fool. We have Gemini, Virgo, Mercury energy, and we have Venus. We have Queen of Pentacles, very nice. And we have Page of Pentacles in reverse, manifestation. Interesting. We have 8 of Pentacles and the Sun in reverse. So whoever the first person is, their archetype is priest, facilitates spiritual commitments, serve as a channel of spiritual energy, shadow violates the trust of your spiritual community, seduced by your own spiritual role. So this was one thing that I really had to point out for the first person, is that, you know, this superiority inferiority complex that just serves as I'm hearing a bottle cap for suppressed emotions over here, where you kind of have felt smaller than in your own life, and looking down upon someone forms a base to uplevel your own self-esteem, which is also again a false narrative. So something about the first person is, you know, somewhere where this reading feels like a little bit of like, again, a mirror in your face. And I feel like with the Venus and the Mercury energies over here, it really gives me someone who is walking through the way that they see themselves. And I think that the second person, or their divine masculine, really is walking as a very strong mirror about how they devalue themselves, the way they look at themselves, and the way that they present themselves. Because the overall theme of your reading brings us back to the card of self-respect, right? This really tells us the way that we've been viewing ourselves. And I think how the feminine energy really feels over here about the masculine is almost like they really want a commitment, but they also kind of see in ways in which they are trying to impose their wants and desires for kind of like a similar validation that they didn't receive from their own father figure, perhaps, to you know, kind of, because this connection really makes their heart crack open, which is like vulnerability towards their inner child, all parts of them, which includes, you know, their past versions, their inner child, and their present version, and thereafter their future version as well. So something about this makes, you know, the first person really, really vulnerable, this connection. And I think that being more in the feminine energy, which I am assuming, it makes them a little bit more vulnerable and wanting to be taken care by, and wanting a positive example of masculine energy in this world. And I think that somewhere this person finds themselves deceived by their own fantasy land, and this is something that they're coming in acceptance with. And I think that a good amount of healing might, and I really do hope, comes from this reading. If you're, you know, in the feminine energy, or if you're the first person over here, I really do hope that, you know, this helps you understand a little bit more about yourself, where it's almost like when you spit on this person, or you slander this person's way of being, you kind of slander yourself a little bit, because it shows the judgments that you have about yourself. So this is all about, you know, self-respect and holding a little bit of unrealistic, perhaps unrealistic standards for yourself, right? Not being able to allow yourself to go through the ebb and flow of life and accept your shadow attributes just as much you try to promote your lighter attributes in front of other people. Because sometimes when we try to prove ourselves too much is because we don't believe we really deserve it. And if we're secure in ourselves, we won't try to prove that to other people, right? So over here, maybe I feel like the first person over here is trying to really prove themselves by gaining commitment from a person that may be a player prototype, quote unquote, or someone that's emotionally unavailable, lack for a better word, so that they can redeem themselves and prove themselves at the end of the day that they are worthy of love. Okay, so that was very, very insightful. Pile number 3, I am going to pull out channel messages and conclude this reading. So let me see. So this is from the second person, you deserve better than me. So that's what your person wants to tell you, the masculine energy. They recognize, that's what I said, that it serves as an amplification or a provocation for the second person or the masculine to work in this connection because of the first person. And then the second person is also saying secrets and deception. They're hiding the fact that they know that the other person deserves a lot better. I also feel like there is guilt for not being able to do that. And we have, oh, this is for the first person. I think the world of you. This did come in reverse, and this really, I think, portrays the pain and pleasure aspect of it, where I think that the first person is a little bit conditional in their love. When if they get what they want, or they presume that they will get that, I think that maybe their people pleasing tendencies come out a little bit. And for the first person as well, we have I'm afraid of commitment. So I hope that this brings a little bit of relevance to maybe your own shadow attributes that you're oblivious of. Because if you're choosing an unavailable person, if you want to gain the approval of that, it can also be that you are also unavailable to an extent. So I think that's what the first person wants to tell the second person, that they're not all to be blamed. Okay, so connecting energy, let me pull out a connecting energy. Soulmate. Both of them feel like this is a very, very strong divine connection. Of course it is. Okay, so pile number 3, this was your reading. Very, very insightful. I really do hope that you did find a message that was helpful. If you did, please hit the like button. Please do hit the like button, share, comment. Do let me know how this resonated with you. You can book a personal reading with me. Contact me at my email, and I'm going to see you guys in another one. Bye bye.